that has reshaped the education and professional development. And the topic is Wondrous World of Virtual Courses, Hype, Hope, or Habit of for Professionals. So we know that pandemic actually accelerated the online learning, and rapid after that there was a rapid rise of online learning because people had tested it during the pandemic. So but now the debate is it a fleeting trend, is it a transformative force, or simply it's a new normal? So some see it as a future of education, while others are questioning its effectiveness, especially in professional life. And today we are going to explore these perspectives and challenge certain assumptions and try to uncover insights from each one of you. Before we dive in, let's remember this is not just about technology. In reality, it's about how we learn, adopt, and grow in an increasingly digital world. So, some see virtual courses as a gateway to global accessible learning, uh, while, as you know, the others worry about engagement gaps and digital divides. So, let's explore that what's working, what's falling short, and most importantly, where do we go from here? So, your diverse perspective and opinions that will be helping us to converge to some viewpoint. And before I invite the first speaker, I shall share some rules. Participants should raise their virtual hand, and I shall try to invite them in the order in which their hands are raised. Each speaker can express his or her opinion in about 2 to 3 minutes, and that's max, I believe. Please share your own experience with virtual courses. That will be truly helpful. And I shall request Mr. Deepak Barara to keep a watch on the time so that we can conclude sharp by 6:30. So to kick things off, I would love to hear from our learned and HR wizard, Mr. Rakesh Seth. Mr. Seth, what's your take? Are virtual courses mostly hype, a beacon of hope, or an entrenched habit in education today? So over to you, Mr. Seth.
Thank you, Jeet. I will take some time to explain this concept. You have very well articulated the thoughts around the wondrous world of virtual courses. What I'll talk about something around the digital, then I'll talk about why it is hype, hope, and the habits. I'll try and do some justification for these three areas. And then we can explore from other friends also as to what their experience has been with the various certificates which they have acquired over a period of time, which is of a short duration. Our, concentration would be more on the short duration courses that being offered by various Ivy League colleges also, and the other, B schools also. In fact, the everything is under the sun today is digital. Whether you want to learn singing, you want to learn cooking, that's also available on the digital. So therefore, the digital era has flooded the professional world with the short, accessible virtual courses. That's the one point. Second is that it has made Ivy League content accessible to all. Although Ivy League, the colleges are offering a 30 minutes, 35 minutes courses. I don't know how effective those courses are, whether these courses are designed from the perspective of giving a micro size bites to the people, or it acts as a promotion for enticing people to pursue the long duration courses by being there in a physical mode, you see. So I would look at it from both perspective: one, by providing the content, and second, from the perspective of the promotion of their courses. And third is it is allowing professionals from underserved regions to learn from the top global minds. That's the another advantage that we see. And then they spark curiosity and introduce new fields, in a bite-sized format so that people can digest it, especially the ones who do not have any exposure. For example, if person doesn't understand what the AI is, he can simply join a 30 minutes course in order to understand what this AI is. At least he gets that awareness stuff. Now, the hype around this is that it is a social proof, pressure. That's what it means, that people, after pursuing the, certificates, they post it on the LinkedIn as, the completion of the courses. That's the one. Second is the living FOMO, that certificate collection syndrome, where people acquiring left, right, center, 10 certificates and, uh, 11 certificates. Even those certificates are properly getting integrated into the professional development of the individual or the organization development, and then I call it overconsumption of the contents by some youngsters. They are just consuming the contents, and the hope around is that it is idle for early experience, brings ivy link content to your door. Third is it boosts self-worth and also some kind of a confidence when a person says that I am also pursuing the uh, online course from an Ivy League college. And the habit is that, the young managers are scheduling learning time. That's where it is happening now, you see, and can become part of the professional hygiene for the young managers, that they want to learn particular thing, they can go click it and then they can learn about that particular area. That's the advantage. However, if it is unchecked, it becomes passive scrolling and watching, with very limited retention. If it is, that's where we say passive scrolling. You are learning something or you are doing a passive scrolling. And this is what used to happen in the corporate when they started off with the LMS. Although the enrollment rate was very high, but the completion rate was poor. And then finally, the trap is that it creates some false sense of expertise, and it becomes more of a vanity scores rather than the value add. When I say vanity metrics, it means that just for the ego satisfaction, some people keep pursuing these courses. You see, so that's some of the points which I have about this wondrous world of virtual courses, both sides, the hype, hope, and the habits. So now I'll get back to you. Take it forward. The thoughts around this.
Thank you very much, Rakesh. I think just in a few minutes you have actually opened the complete spectrum and touched so many aspects related to virtual learning, and I'm surprised that how you consolidated these views. So far I'm not seeing any hand which has been raised. So I think then I will have a choice to invite the speakers, and unless someone is really wants to come forward first. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Rajan Sinha. You are the next speaker. So please, yeah.
I would only add the one of the advantages of virtual learning is because see there are two things which are very dominant. First of all, reducing attention span. So people are getting more comfortable with a shorter attention span, and therefore their modular courses have more utility for them, especially the younger crowd. The second benefit is asynchronous learning because they have a module they can go through it at the night whenever it is convenient to them, which is not possible in a face-to-face course. So these two trends are very dominant, and that is one of the reasons for popularity of these courses.
Wow, really, very appreciable thoughts. And in fact, I would put one more request, Mr. Sinha, if every speaker shares uh, their personal experience. If you have done some virtual course and how you felt about it, what is your own experience? Will you be in a position to share it now?
Yeah, more than training, actually, I'm using it for coaching, and especially after that. And some of the advantages Rakesh Bhai has already told, that you can address global market, you can talk to people from all over the place. That's one thing. Second thing is, as far as my own coaching system is concerned, the researches are now proving that online is more effective than face to face. So there are several variables they have talked about. Is that one can look into the face and paying attention to the face. One can also see what is the reaction, which is not easy in a class as such. So that's one possibility, or even face to face, because in face to face the distractions are many. So that's one positive, and the researchers are now showing that it has its own advantages, and percentage terms the learning is more in that kind of a setup. As far as training is concerned, I have only done a few as such, and the advantage as such, I mean, when it is modular, the advantage is that the students are able to get back to that in where whatever convenient time is, and then revert for any questions or clarifications and so on.
Very nice. I think definitely I see that your inclination is more towards hope. It's not a hype, it's a reality, and we have to find out ways and means to further encourage it. Thank you very much. I see Rajiv has actually
No,
unmuted.
you may invite Deepak
Unmuted.
Kumar first because he had raised
Okay.
his hand, and I'll
Yes.
come later.
Oh, I did not see his hand. Virtual
Yeah,
virtual hand. You can raise virtual hand so that.
Yeah, virtual end.
Deepak.
Thank you
Deepak
very
Kumar.
much.
Thank you. Okay, so firstly, thank you so much, sir, for inviting me this roundtable, and we are doing it after a long time. So quickly, I'll share a couple of my experience, and then in 1 minute I'll summarize that where I see the lack basically. So obviously, like you rightly said that the COVID has pushed this up, and we all are in a, you can say, technological advancement time right now. My personal experience, I do prefer virtual courses. I've done, and I keep doing at least 4 5, you can say, LinkedIn Learning or Coursera or Udemy courses in a month. So, and mostly I go for the latest technology because that is the fast content is available immediately, right? That is the one reason, because we are in a fast paced world. I work for IT company where we need to everything is outdated in a week time these days. So that the fast consumption is happening for the content, but I see the negative perspective also, and that is mostly in the new generation, the new engineers which are coming in our organizations, and from the corporate perspective also, because of this virtual, you can say, availability, the company has reduced their online, or you can say, offline training costs. They are reducing a lot. They are not doing it, and they are just providing the coupons. Like for example, in our organization and several other organizations, they just give the LinkedIn Learning coupons or a Coursera coupons, and they think that engineers are trained onto that one, and they can deliver the product immediately after learning from online. But that is not the real scenario, because until unless you are not doing the hands-on, and if you are not creating something concrete for the team, until unless that is not happening, it won't add more value. So that there it is not working well, I guess, in the organization, because of lack of offline training. People are not being trained because attention span is low, and they are not self motivated enough to do that. So in that case, so for personal development it is very good. If I am self motivated, I can go and I can do a lot of courses. But for the professional development, where we need the real value to be added for the projects, I see the virtual is actually making, you can say, degrading the training standard rather than increasing the training standard. That will be my take on this.
Right. I think so. You have a mixed experience, and you feel
Yes.
that experience has no substitute. So learning is one part, but once you are in the field, unless you put your hands in the soil, you don't get the full feel of it. Right.
Right.
Very nice. And with this, then now I request my friend Rajiv Khurana
Thank you,
to
sir, Jeet. Uh,
discuss.
I mean, it was wonderful listening to Rakesh, understanding the experience of Rajan and Deepak's experience also. And I would also tend to agree with Deepak that the motivation of learning is very critical. Now, let me take you back 20 years. And for one of my MNC client, we created a internal practice that, okay, managers could go into the market, buy a book on their own, read the book, give it to the library of the office, and seek the reimbursement for the price of the book. In the whole year, only two reimbursements were sought. Now, this is one scenario. Scenario number two: 2, 3 years back in Bombay, I was sitting in the head office of a very, very large private sector bank. And since I've done a lot of work in micro learning, I was giving a presentation on how micro learning could be used for 25,000 employees of the organization across India. Now, the learning and development manager, she shut down the whole thing just by saying, "Sorry, sir, the idea is very good, but even I am very shy of facing the camera and creating a module." Whereas I was offering them the service that, okay, give me a bunch of HR and learning experts. I'll train them in terms of how do we create learning modules in less than 1.5 minutes time. And then you can actually have plethora of things, because in each learning module, you could include 1 point or max 2 points of delivery, because the attention span of the people is going terribly down. It is even less than the goldfish. Current attention span is 8 seconds, goldfish is 9 seconds. And let me tell you, nothing has happened since then. And I've been hammering my head with various organizations saying shorts and reels is the way forward. But organizations would say, कोई सीखता ही नहीं है, कोई कुछ करता ही नहीं है. अरे भाई, जब कोई सीखता नहीं है, कुछ करता नहीं है, तो वर्चुअल सर्टिफिकेट्स में क्या होगा? बिकॉज वहां आ जाती है बात मोटिवेशन की. Now we need to also differentiate whether we are talking in terms of learning or earning a certificate. Recently, I came across a person who actually exhibited that he has gathered 71 certifications from across the world through the short courses. Now, this guy must be a real great learner. But knowing the person, I also feel, would he be in a position to apply that learning, or it is only enhancement of the resume? Today, it is very easy to get started unless and until we give them some benefit which is linked to the reality. And here, recently, I had launched less than a month back at my Lung Care Foundation. We have created an online certificate program. Now, I've actually introduced an academy, a virtual academy, where my first course is on asthma readiness training, focused on school teachers, but linking it more with it is that not only for you to learn, but this will help you save the pain, agony, and at times life of the children in the school who undergo an asthma attack. But even there, Rakesh, you were talking about 30-35 minutes of videos. We have a total 45 minutes of videos, which is actually divided into 8 to 9 sections. I'm also one of the speakers, but no video is more than 5 minutes. And then we are giving them the flexibility that you don't have to go through all the videos in one go. Finish it off in 2 or 3 weeks' time, and the moment you finish it, you will get an e-certificate. Next week, perhaps, I would also be launching a certificate program online on the same platform called ESG for MSMEs, where it will be in two forms: one, video form, and second, an ebook form. And ebook form, I don't want them to learn or read. Just download it and then refer it whenever you want. But those 10 videos that we have created are for 1 minute to 1 minute 20 seconds duration only. At least you see that. But Jeet, you will be surprised. What is considered as a count for a view is 3 seconds on YouTube. If you click it, it is considered as a count. And when I see my videos uploaded which are all learning videos, let me tell you, the percentage view would is 20-25% of the whole video. And at times I wonder, I wish I was a TikTok kind of a video creator. I would have created millions of followers, which I have not been in a position to do as such. So therefore, now when we talk about online learning, short certification, uh, uh, I think इनको
Let
mute
me,
कर दें.
I'll try to mute.
हाँ, इनको मैं ही कर देता हूँ. I lost the track, sorry. So it is important that whatever short courses we create, and the long courses का जमाना चला गया है. Unfortunately, what has happened is, Rakesh, majority of the international colleges are converting their classroom teaching into digital teaching. And that is where the interest gets lost. It is important to repackage that learning into small bites. Only then things will, and therefore, you can always say, after you finish those 10 modules or 15 modules or 20 modules or 2 minutes each, you would get a certificate rather than sitting through a 35 minutes or 45 minutes of video.
Okay.
Rest, I'll come back to you, Jeet.
Thank you very much. I think you have given a very clear perspective from your own experience. Especially, you are known for your work in the micro learning, and I'm sure that this is very valuable for all of us to know that when the attention span is so short for every individual, uh, whatever you have suggested probably is
शीशे
the
बंद
best
करना
model.
शीशे
But right, let's listen to the other friends also. Anyone who is volunteering, or I will go then to the next Deepak Bharara.
I think उनका वो dark हो गया शायद वो हिल रहा
कुछ
है.
है.
Maybe we can invite somebody else now.
Deepak,
He has reached somewhere, perhaps, yes.
right. Okay. I'm sorry. Instead of Mr. Deepak Bharara, can I request Mr. Deepak Bahal to give his views?
Sure, sure. Am I audible, please?
Yes, very much.
Yes, yes.
So thank you very much. It was very nice learning and listening to Mr. Rajiv and Deepak ji and Rakesh sir. My personal experience with short-term courses is both ways. It's a mix of response. In some cases, definitely I have learned a lot of important lessons, and you are absolutely right that probably once you have got the basic idea of any particular concept, you can actually understand and you can talk about those things whenever required. However, I have felt as an HR professional that we do not give any such attention towards these short term courses in the resumes or CVs. Not major attention. And when we are recruiting people, we of course just want to know what exactly are the courses they have done, but probably they don't get so many brownie points only because they have done so many courses, so we should recruit them. So as a recruiter, probably we are not giving a lot of attention towards short-term courses. However, as a learner, I have felt that sometimes knowing some basic concepts and some of the IT concepts in that particular area are definitely helpful. That's my input.
Right. Wonderful. So it's good to, in fact, speak your own experience. You were saying that you have a mixed experience, and probably that is the reality of the day. There is hope also, there is hype also.
True,
So
true.
we have to understand that.
Both the things,
So
yes.
I believe Deepak has come back, and Deepak Bharara, he can now express his views. So Deepak ji, are you listening? Hello? I think he's talking to someone else.
While he is on, I would also like
Hello?
to add one thing.
Hello?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Deepak is coming back, please.
Deepak Bharara ji, I'll come back to you in a minute. Yes, Mr. Sinha, you were saying something.
Virtual courses are not necessarily short-term courses. In 22-23, I attended a 15 months course virtually, and I got a team coaching certification. So virtual doesn't necessarily mean short-term.
No, I agree. In fact, some of these courses like CF, a Chartered Financial Analyst, it runs for years. Uh, Similarly, the risk management and all that. These are they are long-term courses, and there is no substitute also.
Yes.
There are definitely long-term courses too. So yes, Mr. Deepak Barara, we would like to hear from you. I think now some problem is there. He has disappeared now. Okay. Well,
Uh,
I
Jeet,
will
may I come in
then.
in this? May I come
Sure.
in on this? You see,
Hello.
long virtual courses are important because then you have a dedicated program. In fact, during the COVID time, when international universities took on MBAs, even at Cambridge and Oxford, etc., I mean, it was all done virtually. So therefore, there is when you have a structured program, that's fine. But the moment we are talking about short-term certificate programs, the ball game is different.
True.
Another aspect to that is that which Deepak well mentioned. Are we talking about virtual course and the certificate getting into our resume, or are we focusing on actually learning something which we can apply at our workplace or in our career? I may not be having any certificate, but majority of my learning has come through YouTube programs where I have learned on how to take better pictures, how to do video editing, how to create movies, maybe listening to plenty of TED Talks also, and of late, how AI is actually working. But I have none of these certificate programs, but then virtually the learning is coming to me. I'm actually a seeker, and therefore I'm going ahead in terms of learning from it. So this is another domain, another aspect. So while we may have serious programs of 2 years duration, which could be structured and managed by larger organization where the seriousness is never under question, but at the same time, we also have short-term duration programs which would be coming so fast and so rapidly because anyone can design it and
True.
deliver it on a virtual mode. That's where we are talking about the hype, the fashion statement, etc.
Great. Thank you very much, Rajiv. Once again, I think Deepak Barara has dropped for some reason. So I'll request Mr. Sumit to express his views on this, sharing his own experience.
Yeah.
It's
Good
just
evening once again, everybody. Thank you, Jeet, for inviting me. But frankly, as you know very well, my hold on IT is pretty poor. I openly admit that. And frankly, I'm not very much interested also in getting into too much of a depth of it, right? So I would touch upon, and my personal experience, I'll share something. But first is we look at it from two ways. One, I have no experience of obtaining any online certification. I must admit that. So as a participant and getting a certification, zero online. On the other hand, yes, L&D as well as my EMBA classes during COVID time we were forced to go online, and it continues in some way. Maybe a small portion of it still goes on. So the that experience is one. But what I'm what uh, engages my thought is that technology perfectly fine, any wonderful idea perfectly fine. I have absolutely no contest with that. But what I am an out and out HR person, I remain an HR person. I don't take pride in saying I'm a general management person. I'm an HR at the core. Yes, over a period of time, I do handle strategy, this, that, and the other, but rooted in HR. So from that point of view, I have very clear mind that everything can be used in both ways. So I go into the intent, right? So if there is a certification program by a genuine organization, a genuine individual who provides genuine certificates based on genuine merit of the participants, I have absolutely no problem. But my problem is, I'll give you just one example, that too offline, but it can be carried on to this. I have been in the space of Posh for more than 40 years, which was at Escort's time, because all these cases used to come to me without any guidelines. Vishaka guidelines came much later, and there's a reason why I'm sharing this. So 1980s, without any guidance, why were they coming to me? Because I have a background of a master's in social work, a master's management, and my LLB degree. Those are the three combos that are needed. Now, I openly admit that after 40 years of handling this, and today I do it as a professional, I get paid for that. But every day I feel that my knowledge is reducing because court judgments are coming, case laws are coming, law undergoes changes, etc., etc. Supreme Court is, taking strict action against people. Huge fines are being imposed. That is why people have woken up to this idea, not because there is some genuine reason that yes, this is a very bad thing and we need to push out this scourge. That is one aspect. But riding on this, that piggybacking, you look into Facebook, every day there are two, three, four people publicizing certification of posh. There is no such requirement.
Sorry for my intervention. I think the link will go away in 1 minute, so somewhere we have to conclude also.
Okay.
So Rajiv, can we extend it with your permission? I am not sure.
No, you can. There is no limit
Okay.
for 40 minutes.
Right. Sorry, extremely sorry. Yeah, please continue and then
Okay. I'll
refocus
take
on
another
the
2 minutes to finish
short-term
this,
courses.
which
No,
I
I'm
started.
using the platform of Lankya Foundation. We have no time restriction.
Fair enough. So if you permit 2-3 minutes more. So I am trying to explain a concept of what is the intent. Now these people are advertising 30-minute posh awareness and 50 minutes, which I have not been able to acquire for 40 years, regularly dealing with it. So that is just fooling the people with a certificate. The intent itself is wrong. They are only making money in the process. One last example I will give from my offline thing. When I came into this field as a professional and when the act came into being, right? The prevention of, I mean, there are three terms, but I am only using the short form of POSH. I decided that I must also try and see what good organizations are doing. I attended 4 or 5 as a participant just to see how it compares with my background and what new I have to do. Would you believe this? In one of those, and very reputed, I would not like to name it, I'll get into legal trouble. They are big organization who had organized this. Right in the beginning, we just sign in our delegate, get our kit. I walk into the room, I open the kit bag, and among other things, the act was there and some articles and all that, perfectly fine. Along with that is a blank certificate, blank. I have it even today. So I can put anybody's name and say that such and such person has done it. And with all this AI and fake and this and that, deep fake and whatnot, I am not very aware of all that. This would be the simplest to do. So therefore, I have a huge reservation unless the intent is clear and it is based on merit only and no other consideration. I can go on and on about negatives, but I don't want to.
That's
Thank
fine.
you so much.
Thank you very much, Sumit, for giving your own insight and your different experiences with dealing with all such matters. So I think before we conclude, I will request Deepak Barara, who is back in his seat, to express his views because no other person has raised hands right now.
Okay. Are you able to hear me, by the way?
Yes, yes, you can.
Okay, great. Jeet, I had been privileged to hear everyone in this group, and it is really very interesting discussions around the table. But there are one thing which is always bothering me. One is that these aspects are coming, the courses, the virtual courses, the digital courses, out of two strands. So one is that, okay, fine, education. We need to educate people. There has to be learning of the new things which is around, and that's why this is important to have a short courses. But the worrying part is that more often a commercialization of the education. Uh, Most of the courses or the certificates are being sold out on a value, and it's more the commercialization, irrespective of how much the individual is going to take or not to take. Rajiv has rightly said that the motivation is very, very important. First of all, is there any need for such programs to continually conduct these programs, whether by the private institutions or by the government institutions? Even in academics also, I see uh, 1 year has been added as an academic course. 2 years has been added in one particular. Can you mute? Can
So,
you mute?
Deepak Singh ji, please put yourself on mute. Okay, sorry.
So my only submission is too much of commercialization is also pushing the people to acquire so many degrees because people don't have jobs. They are aspiring for the jobs. Say ये भी कर लो, वो भी कर लो, वो भी कर लो. At the end of the day, वो ना घर का ना घाट का सिर्फ 25 सर्टिफिकेट लेके बैठे हैं. One of my friend Professor Atreya, who is a Padma Shri, always said that every certificate, every diploma, every degree should have an expiry date. Without any expiry date, all these are frivolous and useless papers which is being collected by every individual. So my submission as of today, if the need is strong and if there is a genuine need and the people are serious about educating or cultivating the learning by having a proper implementation of projects on the job, off the job, and there's an actual learning, then it is useful. I really admire and I say it's a really great thing, especially the adoption of the technology. But if it comes to only ye bhi kar lo, wo bhi kar lo, I think it's a waste of time. And as Sumit has time and again said, there are so many negatives which has been prevailing as of today. Uh, I fail to understand 3,000 में कौन सा कोर्स करा दोगे आप, क्रैश कोर्स करा दोगे तो उसकी जॉब लग जाएगी. और वो कहता है जी आप 2 महीने के अंदर 10th पास कर लो, 3 महीने के अंदर 12वीं पास कर लो. आई डोंट नो व्हाट काइंड ऑफ passing is required and how much they are really they're among the 85% of the people who are roaming around having no jobs. So that's my serious concern, and this is the interesting discussion around. But yes, question comes and we have to find some semblance out of the madness. We are all into madness as of today, and the semblance comes that we have to be serious. As my friend Rajan has said, and my friend Rajiv has also time and again said, attention span is lesser and it is reducing. And if the attention span is lesser, how much we can give in a shortest time, the best of the best inputs. And I think that is only come because of two experiences. Either there is a gain or there is a pain. And unless until there is a gain or pain, learning doesn't happen. And that's concluding remarks.
Thank you very much, Deepak. In fact, you have raised very important point that every certificate, diploma, or degree should have an expiry date. Otherwise, what's happening that all outdated things, what people might have learned, they are still flaunting and trying to take some advantage out of it. Yes, continuous learning is very important. That's what, in fact, you are trying to say. Thank you all the participants for your very
Jeet, wait.
sure.
Mr. Saiki had also raised the hand.
Oh
He
yeah,
wanted to
just now
share
I see
something.
this.
Please.
So I'm
Yeah,
so
yeah.
sorry, Mr. Saikia, you raised your hand. Please express your views.
So good evening, everyone. And thank you, Rakesh, sir, for inviting me to this program. Interesting. I mean, a really interesting discussion that happened. I just wanted to quickly, touch upon two things. Uh, the point of virtual learning or bite-sized courses, and it's really something which is thought-provoking. But I see there are a lot of advantages because I want to give you two examples. I myself did, in fact, currently I am doing an HR analytics course from IIM Kashipur. This is a 6 months course. It's going to get over on the 2nd of August. In 2020, I did a course from XLRI. It's an executive program, again, 6 months virtual learning. The takeaways from both the courses is that one is that excellent faculty, excellent curriculum, and the learning is really good. So, and I have been able to use that in my own work area. And second thing is that, of course, yes, those Ivy League names do act as a conversation starter, kind of, when you are in the job market looking for a job and your CV says that you have done an executive program from XLRI, the other person at least wants to know, okay, what you have done, kind of, is it a full-time or at least a part-time? So that's there. But having said that, because I did my MBA way back in 2001 to 2003, and the XLRI program I did it December. I enrolled in December 2019, It was 6 months course, ended in around August 2020. There was a bit of delay because of the COVID lockdown. But the good thing was that it was a complete, freshen up of what we learned during those times in way back in 20 to 2001 to 2003, and the changes that has happened. So the point what I'm trying to make here is that if somebody who's interested to upskill, yeah, of course, I know these are good, but yes, of course, you need to look at where you do the program for. The second thing is what I wanted to talk about is the micro learning modules like Udemy and all, Coursera, Udemy, where organizations are now going that way. And yeah, in fact, Rajiv sir was also talking about that. uh, I work in a company, IT company in Kolkata, currently in Kolkata. And we have about 300 Udemy licenses, which we are giving it to our people to make learning. But the problem that what we have seen is that, yes, of course, we try everything to make the learning inroad. We have this, every quarter we have the highest learner and all those awards that we are doing. But what we have seen is that because learning is a goal in our PMS cycle itself, we say that everyone should have at least one learning goal and at least one knowledge sharing goal. So mostly what we see is that the spike happens during the month of December, January, when just before the PMS, people start doing some kind of one or two programs because they have to put it in their goal sheet. But what is important is for organizations to see it, because one thing which is a trend which is now happening is that organizations are investing less and less on in-person training. Those classroom type of trainings are going down a lot. But what organizations need to do is that in IT industry, there's a concept called agile. There's two concepts. One is waterfall and an agile. Waterfall is something which continuously flow. You see everything kind of. Agile is where you don't know what the next change is coming and you have to be on your toes. So what is important is to communicate the goal. I mean, do I say that just okay? I have 70 licenses, or sorry, certificates or 80 certificates, and I am the best learner, or how am I using it? And here, I think the HR folks are also to come into play, or the management or the organization should come in play. Because why I'm saying is that just because somebody has got a license from or a certificate from some organization or some learning academy doesn't mean that the person is good. So how this is being utilized is that learning, say for example, if I've done an analytics job and I am nowhere near working on analytics, then that should not be a game changer for me as far as if I'm looking for a job or a promotion or whatever. So that has to be built in, and that is where we are actually, I think we are missing out. Now, for example, a few years back, somebody who had a career break 1 year or 1.5 year, if the person is not working, then probably that person is considered as no use, a dead wood. But today the things are changing, organizations are accepting it. So I think those changes has to happen. This bite-sized learning is not going to go away. That is one thing that I see. This is going to stay. But the point is that how do we use that, and how do we take most advantage of it is I think something is very important. The on demand, the another flip side that I see is when we say on demand learning, there's a problem where what happens is, in fact, I have attended a couple of online sessions, which are live sessions, of course, where the trainer says that I'm not going to give you any or reading material, any recording of this session. They said that you take notes as you attend the classes. You just take hard copy notes. Fill up your notebooks, which makes people focus on the learning. Because what happens otherwise, if I'm saying, for example, if I'm attending this discussion, I know this has been recorded. I can just sip my cup of coffee and relax,
Mr.
because I know
Saik,
I
I
can go
request
through
you
it
to
later on.
just brief so that
Yeah.
people's
So,
attention span is also less.
yes.
Yeah,
Sorry.
towards
So
the end of
just
the session. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, just wanted to conclude that my
Introduction, but I
conclusion
think
here is
a
that
couple of people have already left. So, yeah.
yeah, online learning is not bad, but the point is how you accept it is what is more important, and what you derive from it is more important. Thank you.
Of course, wonderful views. Thank you so much. I think you have a new perspective to the whole thing
Uh,
from your own experience, of course. So yes, Mr. Rakesh said, now over to you for
Yeah, Gigi,
concluding
yeah,
and
thank you
closing
very much.
remarks.
Now, you see,
Raj,
basically these virtual courses are not magic pills, but they can be powerful vitamins. Okay, and if taken from the right intention, reflection, and application, they can help the individual to learn and grow. But there are two, three things which I would like to highlight. One is that in this area there is a over reliance on solo learning. The missing part is the peer learning and team based discussions. So, okay, but if you join a long term duration courses, there it is available. But in the short term bite size, it is not. It is over reliance on solo learning. And second part is, in the age of AI, when you have Chat GPT and you have Perplexities and you have Meta and you have this Gemini. Now they also act as a tutor. They are your agent. Whatever you want to learn, they will provide you with the all kinds of inputs that you want. You want them to refine. You want them to give you a specific answers to the problems that you are facing. You want to buy a particular share. They will tell you whether you should buy a share or not. They can do their own analysis and give you the complete information that you need to take a decisions. Now, in light of these, especially the AI interventions through these AI tools, how relevant this will remain the virtual learning. This is what my fear is. And also, as Tim very rightly said, that we can't equate certification with the competence. So competence has to be demonstrated, whereas certificate is the one document which says that yes, you attended the program. So this is where I will conclude, and the session has been very nice, and I would like to thank each and every individual who contributed this. Thank you, G. Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, Deepak Behel. Thank you, Rajan
Thank you,
Sinha.
Rakesh said.
And thank you, Deepak Jha, for the valuable comments and making this, the first after a long time, a roundtable in the areas of, and also, of course, we have a SP Singh also, and the virtual courses, which is in thing, and people are investing a lot of money. So therefore, we thought that let's put some kind of a thought process in the people whether it is worthwhile attending these courses or there are some better ways of doing it. As Tim said, that if you want to pursue any courses, go to the best of the places, invest some money like IIMs and all, or the international ones, so that you can get more benefits rather than acquiring these bite-sized courses, etc. Thank you very much.
And
Thank you.
before we
Thank you.
Thank you very
conclude,
much.
I
Thank
do
you.
suggest
Thank you very
what is
much,
the top.
Rakesh.
No, no.
Thank you.
Before we conclude, Jeet,
Ji,
let's seek the help of all the participants in case they have an idea in terms of the next topic for the roundtable. Do suggest, and whether they would like to be the dialogue initiator or would they like to invite somebody else as a dialogue initiator. Let them work on that and come back to us, because this is a
Wonderful.
democratic platform. Take
Yeah,
the
yeah.
responsibility and lead. And
Satyan,
technologically, we will take care of that.
switch on the camera, please, for a minute so that we can click the picture. Kindly switch on the camera so that I can click the pictures. Satinder ji, Shamsher ji, please come on the screen.
Yes, sir.
Satinder, if you're around.
I've asked him to start the camera, but
He is
he's
attending a
busy.
course. He is attending a short-term course.
Okay, done. Taken the
All
picture.
right,
Wow.
sure.
All right. Thank you very
Thank
much.
Welcome you to
Thank you,
you.
share that.
everyone.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Thank
See
everyone.
you.
you.
Thank you
Bye.
from my heart. Thank you
Bye.
so much.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. हाँ जी. Bye then.
एक second. Rajiv, you can do the homework.
Yeah, I'll end the meeting now.